All right, hello and welcome. If you're gearing up for your OCR J277 GCSE in computer science, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to absolutely nail a core programming concept, selection. This is all about how programs make decisions, and trust me, getting this right is so crucial for your exam. Let's dive right in. So, before we even look at a single line of code, let's think about this for a second. You walk up to a vending machine. You press B4. How in the world does it know to drop your bag of crisps and not, say, the chocolate bar next to it? Well, that machine is making a choice, right? It's making a decision based on what you told it. That right there is selection in a nutshell, and it's exactly what we're going to break down today. Okay, so let's get a bit more formal. Section 1. What is program selection? Simply put, this is the heart of how any software, from your favorite video game to the apps on your phone, actually makes decisions. Yeah, this is the kind of fancy definition you might see on an exam paper. Selection is a programming construct that controls the flow of a program. You can think of it like a fork in the road. The program asks a simple question, a condition. Is something true or is it false? And based on that answer, the code goes down one path and completely ignores the other. But let's cut through the jargon. All it really means is that it's how programs make choices. It's that simple. If the user presses B4, then drop the crisps. If a user's age is over 18, then let them in. It's this basic logic that makes our programs seem smart. Okay, so how do we actually do this in code? Let's open up our toolkit. And the first and honestly the most important tool we have for making choices is the IF statement. You can think of this as your go-to essential multi-tool for selection. At its most basic, an IF statement just checks one single thing. We write if, we give it a condition to check, and then, if that condition is true, the program runs whatever code we put inside. And here's a super important detail for your exam. You ready? For the OCR language, you must always close your IF statement with end if. It seems small, but it's a rule, and it tells the computer exactly where that choice-making block of code ends. But what happens if the condition is false? What's the alternative? Well, that's where else comes into play. This gives us that second path in the road. So if the condition is true, do this, else do this other thing instead. It makes sure our program always has something to do, no matter what. Now, let's look at this example really closely, because this is exactly how you'll see it written in your exam. See that bit that says answer equals yes? That double equal sign, it is so important. This is a classic trap where students lose marks. A single equal sign is for assigning a value to a variable, but a double equal sign is for comparison. It's for asking, are these two things the same? Don't get them mixed up. So what if you have more than just two options? A whole bunch of choices. Easy. You can just chain your conditions together using else if. The computer checks the first if. If that's false, it just moves on to the else if and checks that one. It'll keep going down the list until it either finds a condition that's true or it gets all the way to the bottom and hits the final else, which is kind of like a safety net for every other possibility. Now, an endless chain of else if statements can get a little bit messy and hard to read. So for some situations, we've got a much cleaner, more elegant tool, the case or switch statement. Okay, so here's the key thing to remember. When do you use it? You should reach for a switch statement when you have one single variable, like day of the week, and you want to check it against a whole list of specific exact values, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. And here's what that looks like in the exam language. We tell it to switch based on the variable day. Then, for each case, we give it a specific value. If day is Sat, it prints Saturday. Simple, right? And that default keyword, it works just like else. It's the catch-all for any value that doesn't match the other cases. And of course, just like if needs an end if, a switch always needs an end switch. This table right here is a perfect little revision summary. Basically, use IF for more complex stuff, when you're using operators like greater than or less than, but use switch when you're just checking one variable against a nice fixed list. Honestly, IF statements can get really messy and nested, while switch is just so much cleaner and easier to read when you have a long list of options. And just remember, else in an IF statement does the exact same job as default in a switch. Okay, we've covered the theory, we know the tools. Now, let's switch gears and focus on what really matters, how you use this knowledge to actually get marks in your exam. So in your exam, you're not just going to be asked for definitions. You'll need to read code, you'll need to fix broken code, and you'll need to write it from scratch. So let's try a quick exam-style challenge. Let's see if you can put on your detective hat. Okay, have a look at this little piece of code. It asks for an age, and it's supposed to print one of two messages. It looks pretty good on the surface, right? But there is a syntax error hiding in there, a mistake that would make the program crash. So take a second, read it through carefully. Based on the rules we just went over, what's missing? Did you get it? The end if is missing. I know, it seems like such a tiny detail, but for the OCR exam language, it's a non-negotiable rule. Every single if statement has to be closed with a matching end if. Spotting little but critical errors just like that one is how you scoop up those easy marks. All right, we're almost there. Let's wrap things up by boiling this all down to the most important points, the stuff you absolutely need to remember to ace any selection question that the exam throws at you. Here they are, your 3 golden rules for exam day. Number 1, always match your pairs. If you open an if, you must close it with an end if. If you open a switch, you close it with end switch. Easy. Number 2, check your operator. That double equals is for comparing, while the single equals is for assigning. And number 3, choose the right tool for the job. Is the logic complicated or using a range, like score greater than 50? Use if. Is it just one variable against a simple list of options? Use switch. It'll make your code so much cleaner. And I'm going to leave you with one final little puzzle to think about. We've looked at making one choice at a time, but how would you combine them? Think about a login screen. You need to check if the username is correct, and then, only if it is, check if the password is correct. Well, you could use one if statement nested inside another. And that's really the next level, building powerful programs by layering these choices. Have a think about that. Thanks for tuning in, and good luck with your revision.